Well, I learned about hypnosis a long time ago. When I graduated medical school in '39, and I did my residency in psychiatry at St. Elizabeth's Hospital in Washington. And during my final year there, Dr. Gustav Aschaffenburg, who was a famous hypnotist from Germany, was then a refugee from Germany, came to the United States, and he asked me to help him prepare for the medical exams in America, because he had to get his state licensing exams and he wanted to practice in English. So I had several sessions with him going over all the possible questions he would get for the licensing exam. And in return for that, he taught me the art of hypnosis. So that was in 1941. Then Pearl Harbor happened. And since I was in the reserve, the Army Reserve, right after Pearl Harbor, I was in the Army. And this was in January 1st in '42. And first they needed young, healthy people in combat. First I was a psychiatrist in the Army for about 3 months, and at Fort Meade. Then they needed young, healthy doctors in combat. So despite the fact that I was a psychiatrist, they made me a combat surgeon. And I was assigned to the 1st Infantry Division with the 1st Battalion there. And I was in the invasion of North Africa and all through the Tunisian campaign. And so during that time in combat, I had ample opportunity to make use of what I learned about hypnosis from Dr. Schaffenburg. So it was my first internship in the use of hypnosis. And what I noticed vividly was that so many soldiers in combat would, under the stress of combat, would go into spontaneous trance states. And when the operation was over, they somehow reorient themselves and come back to where they were. And then I noticed where some soldiers were wounded, and they were so absorbed in what was happening with them, they were ignoring the pain. And that too was like a spontaneous hypnotic trance. So learning how to use hypnosis to relieve anxiety, to alter pain perception, became like a common experience for me as a combat surgeon. And then I had a vivid experience myself. I was wounded. About the second day before the end of the Tunisian campaign, a German tank came at us, and a shell fragment, a steel fragment, hit my right ankle. It burned through my boot, and I felt pain, but I didn't know where it was at first. And I looked around and I saw that piece of steel, and I pulled the thing out, and it was so hot it burned my hand. But then, having seen so many men wounded in different places, I went, well, where else am I hit? So I kept looking around where else, and an aide man came over, and I rolled over my belly. Any place else? He couldn't find any place else. When I realized that I was hit in only one place, I felt wonderful. So even though I knew there was pain there, it didn't make any difference to me at all. He wanted to give me some morphine. I didn't want the morphine. I was so glad to be alive. And then my big worry was they put me in an ambulance to send me back to a collecting station, and there was a big hole in the side of the ambulance. It was hit on the way up. And my big worry was, are we going to be hit on the way back? The pain didn't mean a thing to me. So that was a vivid experience about how spontaneous hypnosis enables you to so alter your perceptions that you can learn how to ignore the pain. So I had a vivid initial experience on how important hypnosis was. It can occur spontaneously. You can help people go into trance if they're not in a trance, and you can use that kind of concentration to alter various behaviors or perceptions. That was my